Hey guys and girls, it's pizza time. Yep, we're gonna make a pizza and we're gonna start making our own dough here. And we got our mixer, we got our ingredients. We're gonna throw in about 2.5 cups of flour into the mixer. Okay, that's about 2.5. We don't have to be super accurate. Don't go crazy with the measurements. I'm gonna get some warm water, about 1 cup of warm water. Okay, we got a warm water. Now we're gonna add some sugar into the warm water. A good tablespoon of sugar. And we're gonna get a spoon. With our spoon. Now we're going to dissolve that sugar into warm water. And we got our yeast handy. I like the Fleischmann's Active Dry Yeast.
Not sponsored.
Walmart.
Not
and
sponsored.
It's not a commercial. We're not
Advertising.
pushing anything. It's just what I like to use.
Not sponsored.
You can use any kind of yeast you want, but I like the active yeast. Now, the water has dissolved the sugar. And the sugar in the water is going to activate the yeast. And about a tablespoon, maybe more. You don't have to be super accurate. And we put that yeast into the warm water and sugar mixture. And now that's going to activate the yeast. The sugar and the warm water is going to activate the yeast. And you get it all mixed up good. Some people like to give it more time, but if you stir it up real good, you'll get it to activate. And when you know the yeast is activating, it kind of has like a funny smell to it. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm okay with it. Alrighty. Now we're going to get that right into the flour. We're going to put on our kneading hook, a mixer. And lower it down. And we're going to stop mixing. We're going to check our time. It's about 20 to 3. And we're going to sweeten it up a little more. About that much. You don't have to be accurate. And put a little salt in there also. Not too much. Now, if you have folks at home that have problems with salt, you don't have to add salt if you don't want to. And we put in oil, about a tablespoon, maybe 2. And now we start to get a mixture going there. And we're going to adjust it here. I like to put a little flour in there, a little butter in there too for taste. It looks like it's pretty wet, so I'm going to dry it up a little bit. Now the dough is starting to forming into a ball. And you know it's just right. I'll put a little bit more. And add a little butter and it'll get it off the sides. And it adds to the flavor of the dough. Now you can, if you don't have a mixer, you can mix by hand. But do a good mixture by hand. Knead it. You see people knead dough. They tuck it in, roll it over, flatten it out, and keep folding it over. Left and right, you keep folding it over, and you put a lot of flour onto your wood, so it's not sticking down. And you can knead it by hand, that's fine. But these machines are great. It really makes the job a whole lot easier. And we've been kneading about 6 minutes now. Okay, let's stop it and check it out. Whoa!
Don't do that. Don't drive like my father.
I'm driving like my brother.
I said father.
Here we go. All right. Oh, it's good and sticky. Sticky is good, but not so sticky that it won't come off the bowl. Now that's nice when it's sticky like that, and you can see the dough is nice. So now we're gonna get it back. We're gonna put some flour in a bowl so it doesn't stick, and we're gonna let this whole deal rise. We're gonna fold it in like that. I'm gonna set it in that bowl. Take the bowl away, and you can taste it. It tastes good. I'm going to wet this towel, and we're going to cover up that bowl and let it sit for an hour. Okay, so I wet the towel with warm water, and we're going to cover the dough and let it sit and rise for an hour. And you could do a little cleanup here now. You can wipe down your machine and wait for the dough to rise, and then get a place set up where you're gonna do a little hand kneading and then start to make your pizza. So we'll stop now and come back in an hour. Hey, we're back making the pizza. I want to show you the stone that I use in my oven. I got it on Amazon, and it fits right to the back of my oven. So it's the largest one that could fit in my oven. You have to measure your oven and order that on Amazon. The stone is very important. And we preheated the oven for 450, and usually by the time I'm done making the pizza, the oven will be right up to temperature and ready to go. All right, let's get going with this pizza. We got I don't know what this thing's called. You gotta go look it up online. You gotta get one from Amazon. And this is what we're going to use to slide that pizza in and out. Now check that out. It's been rising for an hour, and now it's ready to go. See that? It's been rising, and it's ready to go. So we're going to get it off the pan. Maybe we could have used a little more flour to keep it from sticking. But, oh, it's so light and fluffy and sticky. That makes a really nice pizza. And you can turn it like this. You want to get it nice and round. I like my pizza round. Like that. Let's get rid of this bowl. Alright. And it's good to soak that bowl, and you want to get your flour off there. And now, you gotta use lots of flour when you start to roll this thing out. Otherwise it sticks to your pin.
But with the parchment paper.
We're gonna get the parchment. We're going to use parchment paper so we can slide it in and out of the oven, because we don't have one of those pizza ovens like they got in New York. This is my New York pizza. I go left and right. Now when you get a bump like that, and you can iron it out and get it round. I go this way and that way, and then I go not diagonal. So I get it nice and round. And with the high spots, you see I'm rubbing them out. And you can push wherever it's lacking there, just push the dough that way, and you'll get it to go back around. Believe me, getting it round is kind of the hardest part to do right away. Now, when you got your pizza, whoop, I didn't use enough flour there. I'm sticking. So let's get a little more flour there. Now, if you want to toss it, that will help the center part of the pizza get thinner. That's the way New York pizzas are all thin in the middle, because you see the guy, whoosh, them Goombas, they're throwing it up in the air all the time. Now we take parchment paper. I love the Italians in New York. They're great people. Now I'm going to uncurl it a little bit here so we can flatten it out. And this will just help us get it in and out of the pizza, in and out of the oven. Now I'm going to put a little flour on there. You want flour under and over. And I didn't tell you, but this pizza is going to be a ham and cheese pizza, and we're going to do cheese stuffed crust around the outside. So you're going to have the mozzarella cheese melting in the crust. And we're going to make it larger so we can put the cheese in there. We're going to really make it a nice big size, but it's going to get smaller once we start rolling in the cheese there into the crust. And here's our mozzarella sticks. That's what we're going to do. Mozzarella sticks. And we need about 12 of them to go around the pizza here. You want to cut a second here and we'll get them out of the package. Okay, we fought with the packaging on the cheese and we got our cheese sticks and we're going around. Maybe with, usually 12 does it right here. And you could put them all out at once. Okay, maybe I need a little more, but okay. I'll cut it. Let's see where we are when we come around here. Let's just start it. Fold over your dough and then start to reconnect the dough. There. Now you want to seal this up tight because you don't want the cheese to come out. You want the cheese to stay inside that crust. And it'll be oh so delicious because a lot of people, oh, I don't like the crust because it's kind of nothing going on with the crust. It's just dough, just bread and dough. So this really adds the interest. And people are surprised that when they get the cheese in the crust. And keep them all nut to butt there. And I don't know, maybe we'll take a little piece here, get it in there for the while. Kids always like to eat the rest. Now we're going to make sure this is all closed up good. Close it up good so we don't have it bursting open. And we're going to make sure we're still sliding around here. See, it got stuck a little there? I don't want it to get stuck when I go to put the whole thing into the oven. Because I'm going to slide this onto the oven and it's, the parchment paper is going to help me get it out of the oven too. Alright. So, and let's just make sure it's all sealed up. And that will contain the cheese inside the crust. And that will be pretty wild because we're going to have cheese and crust. And I'm going to chop up the pan. But what's next is ragu marinara. You could use spaghetti sauce, but there's nothing like the marinara. Marinara is a spaghetti sauce, but it's just been heated and stirred and reduced is what it is. That's what a marinara is. It's a sauce that's been reduced. And Alex got a spoon for me. Thank you. There we go. Now I didn't tell you an amount of sauce because it's as you like. You want more, you put more. You want less, you put less. You can see what I'm doing there. I get it right up to the crust. What's really nice is the cheese crust pizza. When you got the stuffed cheese on the end, it contains your cheese so it doesn't go over and dump your cheese into your oven because that's a smoking mess. A smoking mess you don't want to get. Okay, let's grab some mozzarella, right? 2-pound bag. I like the great stuff from Walmart.
Great value.
Mozzarella is fine with me. All right, let's not mess around. Get this baby open here. And like I said, you put yours on, I put mine on. My pizza gets a lot of cheese. I like cheese in my pizza. My family can attest to it.
You're way too cheesy anyway.
I'm way too cheesy. But I upped my sauce. My son says I'm not putting enough sauce on there, so I've been putting a little more sauce than I usually put on. But I'll go for about a pound and a half of most of that. Spread it around good. Oh, it's an unchopped piece. What happened?
What the hell? No, I'm eating
Just
that.
you want to pull it out? You can eat it.
I'm eating it.
Okay. It's just something that didn't go through the grinder.
So good.
All right. Let's move it out to the edge. And spread it out more. I'm gonna go for it. Let's go for it. Let's make this super cheesy. That's 2 pounds of cheese. This is gonna be one cheesy mama pizza. A cheesy mamma mia pizza. Now, I like to get the cheese right up, hitting against the edge of where that crust is gonna be. Because when you pick up the slice of pizza, you don't want a disconnection there between the crust and where the pizza starts, because then the whole thing just falls apart in your hand and you got a slippery mess. Now we're doing cheese and we're doing some ham. We're going to chop up the ham, get it ready. Now you could do whatever kind of ham you want. I like a lot of it. This is the Hillsborough Farm. It's from Walmart. I like the honey ham. That's what I like. And we're ready to go here. Gonna chop it up. It's gonna be ham and cheese pizza. Sometimes I do the Jimmy Dean sausage. I like the Jimmy Dean sausages are pretty good. And you could use the breakfast sausage or the roll sausage is nice too. Maybe we'll do a sausage pizza on our next video. What do you think? Sausage pizza? All right, it's chopped up pretty good. You don't have to mince it into nothing. It's nice to have like, kind of like chunky. And we just spread it around there. And oh, we got a helper. Helping hands. Whoop. And it's good to get it right up to the edges, so your whole pizza has the flavor of your additives. Now let's get the rest here, scoop it up. Get it all around the edges. Don't neglect your edges. You're going to regret it, because I don't know why, but after it gets heated, it seems like the meat and stuff which you add on gets migrated into the middle. Don't ask me why, but that seems like it happens to me. So, we got a few more ingredients to put on. Hold the fort. Ready. Here we go. A few more ingredients.
My Papa's kitchen, please.
Okay, you're here. Okay, I like a little ground ginger on here. Now, it might sound crazy, but the ground ginger is it gives like a little warming effect. But especially when you have the sausage. Excuse me, I'm talking, Ian. The ginger kind of settles your stomach. So especially if you make a sausage pizza, it kind of like settles your stomach. Okay. And we do a little pepper, just regular pepper. Don't go crazy with the pepper, because then it's going to be too hot. And a little salt. And like I said with the dough, if you got someone with a salt issue, you don't have to put salt in. You let the people add their own salt. But this is a must, the oregano, because that's going to give it that New York flavor. And I like to hold it up and sprinkle it around good. And that's going to give it that New York flavor. Right? And then I like to have some other mozzarella, right? And like this is a finer mozzarella. It's ground up a little fine, and I spread it lightly around. And it's not so important with the cheese stuffed in there. It's not so important to have this, but when you don't have the cheese stuffed in there, this kind of like holds your meat on there, melting together. So when you pick up a slice of pizza, the meat or the sausage doesn't fall off. So that kind of just for bonding purposes. That's what a little extra cheese on top, and finely cheese, does for you. Now we're just waiting for the oven to heat up, and we're gonna pop it in the oven, and then about 15-20 minutes we're gonna have a Mamma Mia New York City style pizza. All right, the oven's beeping. It's 450 degrees, and it's ready to go. So, I didn't tell you before, but I took a quickie clamp, and I tightened that quickie clamp down on there so I could roll out and the thing doesn't slide all over the place on me. Now, I just like to give it a little movement. See, it's sticking there a little bit. So we're gonna move it around a little bit there so it slides on nice. And it's got a little issue, you can throw a little flour in there. Open her up. Open the oven.
3, 2, 1.
I got my helpers. Open the oven. Here we go. We're gonna get it right on that stone. Slide it in and out. And the parchment paper later on.
In the oven.
Parchment paper is gonna help us get it out there. All right, she's a cooking. Now it's a good time to clean up and get ready for that pizza when it comes out of the oven, and do a little cooling and cutting, and we're gonna have a delicious pizza.
Make sure to set your oven to 12 minutes.
Hear it beeping? It's saying it's done. So let's clear the timer. And this is called a peel, a pizza peel. I couldn't think of the name of it, so we looked it up. Oh, look, we got a little busting on the things, the crust. But now, you see it's browning around the top, and I like it browning up around the top. But if you really want to know how much it's cooked, you can tip it up and check out the bottom. See, I like a light brown on the bottom the way it is. We cooked it for 12 minutes, and I think that's pretty good. I'm going to turn off the oven. You like it that, Alex? What do you think?
Yep.
All right. Now, see, we can just grab the parchment paper and get it under there. See? And that's really helping us get it out of the oven there. A little stuck in the back there. And we're just sliding in and out. And it's off on one side. We're going to get it on there good. All right. Now look at that. Mamma mia, is that something? We got the nice, look how blew it up. It's stuffed cheese in there, and everything's melting. And like I said, when you do the stuff in the crust, it really keeps everything from just molting over and falling over the side. Because if you don't do the stuffed cheese, don't do 2 pounds of cheese. Cut it down to about a pound or a pound and a quarter or something like that, because you're going to have a mess melting all over your oven. And my son's going to do the cutting up when it cools down a little bit. So let's give it about 5 minutes to cool down a little. Otherwise, you're going to have a real sloppy mess if you don't let it cool down a bit. And this is the Mamma Mia New York style pizza. Hey folks, we're ready to cut up our pizza, but I wanted to give you one more tip. If you like the bottom, see we tipped it up and took a peek to see how much it's done. If you like the bottom nice and crispy and crunchy, well, after your preheating's done, give it another 15 minutes and let that stone get nice and hot, and you'll get a nice crustier bottom, if that's what you like. And as far as the top, hey, just keep checking it. Check it and cook it the way you like. Hey, this is my pizza. I make it the way I like, and you make your pizza the way you like. If you want mushrooms on there, you put mushrooms. If you want tamales on there, hot peppers, whatever your heart desires, put it on there. But just give some ideas to the texture. Like when you do a ham with pineapple, a lot of pineapple is very juicy and stuff. So maybe you want to squeeze the pineapple and get a lot of the juice out of it, because you want to give a thought to the texture of the pizza. You don't want it all too runny and stuff like that. So enjoy your pizza. I hope you like this video, and if you do the thing on the bottom and all that stuff. Thank you very much. God bless.